thank you guys so much. Thank you for coming out. And, you know, I am here on vacation with my family. You can see, obviously my sunblock was not very effective today. So yeah, I said I hope that I'll be able to get back into business mode since I've been on vacation mode, having such a wonderful time here, staying out in the North Shore. And you know, it's just been so absolutely amazing being back in Hawaii, because you know, this aloha spirit is something that you hear about, that you hear people talk about, and say, if you're not from here, well, what really is that? You know, how do you put that into words? But the aloha spirit is something that is truly, truly amazing. And I feel it, and my family feels it every time we step foot here. And I know that that's why Purium has put its roots down so deep in the soil here in Hawaii, is because our mission is so in alignment with that aloha spirit. And it's just so wonderful that everywhere that we've gone here, and everything from seeing a Purium member at Waimea Falls to our friends that took us to the Polynesian Culture Center and people that we've visited with, it's just been so amazing to be here. And thank you so much for making it so warm and special for us. So I just, I wanted to get to know you guys a little bit. I love coming out. I love meeting our members. I love meeting the people that are carrying on this mission that Dave and I have been doing for so long. If you don't know, we have had the company for over 22 years. And it was a really long struggle for us to get to where we are today. So it's really humbling, it's really amazing to see a room this full of people that are here to pick up that torch and to carry it on and to change people's lives and make people have better lives, opportunities, give people opportunities with what we do here, what we call Purium. So I want to take a few minutes and I want to tell you my story. I want to tell you how I got involved with Purium and how I decided to dedicate really my entire adult life to this mission of educating people and teaching people how what they eat, the choices that they make, can really affect their health and their life in so many ways, as it did for me. So go back to the mid-90s. I was a high schooler. I was a young girl living in Texas with my family, and in Texas we really like to eat, and what we like to eat isn't necessarily so healthy. And so here I was, a high school girl, and I was a very good dancer. I was in drill team, and I was athletic back then. But what started to happen is I started to have really bad skin problems. So I developed really bad acne when I was in high school. Actually, when I was in 8th grade, it started to come, and so that really changed my life. It really had an impact in my life, because a lot of the things that the other girls were experiencing, I wasn't experiencing, because I had low self-esteem due to the acne that I had. And so I was closing doors on myself, and I really didn't even know it. I wasn't taking advantage of opportunities that were presenting themselves to me, because I was afraid. I was scared that someone was going to make fun of me, someone was going to say something to me, and it was just a really, really hard time. So I was in the drill team. I was a really good dancer. I was supposed to be captain of the drill team my senior year, but something said, you know what, I convinced myself I couldn't do it. I had one of those self-limiting beliefs that I wasn't good enough and that I couldn't do it, and so I quit. And when I quit, it was a really painful decision, because I loved dancing so much, but all the other girls had perfect skin. We went to all these competitions, everybody was beautiful, had perfect skin, and I didn't. And so I said, I just don't want to go through this anymore. It was that painful. So I quit, and I started working at a health food store. And so the reason I tell you that kind of depressing story is because out of that, my life really changed forever. I started to work at this health food store, and I always wanted to help people. So I wanted to be a teacher, and I'd gotten a scholarship to go down to the University of Texas and to become a teacher. But you know what? I didn't take that opportunity either, because I was afraid. Because everybody else I thought, had perfect skin, and I didn't. So I shut the door on that opportunity. I stayed at home, went to community college. I was working for this nutritionist, and so I said, great, I can help people through nutrition. So I wanted to help people in high school because I had a rough time. I wanted to make a difference in their lives, but I'm like, wow, I can do the same thing with nutrition. And so I was learning about vitamins, I was learning about herbs, and I was taking all this stuff, but you know what? My skin really wasn't clearing up. It really wasn't making that much of a difference. And so I said, well, this is kind of interesting, but I really wanted to pursue that path. I really wanted to help people. And then one day I went to a trade show with my boss, the nutritionist from the health food store. And so here comes Dave Sandoval at that trade show. He had just started his company, and he had one lonely little product called green kamut. It was wheatgrass and it was alfalfa, and it tasted terrible. And so he walked up to me and he's like, hey, I noticed that you've got a problem with your skin. And so you can imagine how I felt in that moment. So here's this person who had quit the drill team, who didn't go off to school because of this issue, and then here's this person bringing that right up to me. And so he said, you know what, I think I have something that can help you with that. He's like, take this green drink, take this kamut, take this alfalfa, take this green kamut powder, and I know you don't like the taste, but just stick with it. Stick with it for 2 weeks, stick with it for a month, and see what happens. And you know what, for the first time ever, my skin started to clear up. I was like, wow, this is totally amazing. And he's like, you know, the taste doesn't taste good to you right now. But you know, when it doesn't taste good to you, that is when you absolutely need it the most. And so when you go out there and you're sharing with people and they're like, oh, I just can't stand the flavor, you know in your heart that that's when they need it the most. But you gotta be patient with them and you gotta work with them. And never judge them. I always tell people you gotta nudge people into this, not judge them. Because there's a quote that I really like. I have this little curled up piece of paper here I've been carrying around with me. But it's actually a quote from Mother Teresa. And it says, if you judge people, you have no time to love them. So that's a really amazing quote, and I hope everybody can remember that when you are talking to someone, maybe it's your friend, maybe it's your family, maybe it's a coworker, you know, you can't judge them, because if you judge them, you push them away, and they build up a wall, and then you don't have time to influence them. You don't have that opportunity to make that drastic change in their life. The way Dave Sandoval did to me, he didn't judge me and say, oh, she's probably got a terrible diet and that's why her skin is acting like that. He said, there's an opportunity for me to make a difference. So there's a word that I also use called carefrontational. And it's a blended word of confrontational and caring. But so he carefrontationally approached me, made me feel bad for just a moment, but honestly, it changed my life forever. So my skin started to clear up. I gained that self-esteem that I didn't have. And I said, you know, I can do this. And this is really amazing, and nobody knows about this. At least nobody where I come from. Even the clinical nutritionist, she's having me take 10, 15 bottles of different pills, different vitamins, and different herbs, and it's really not working. It's really not working, but when I paid attention to my diet, when I gave my body the foods that it needed, when I just cut out just a very few things, started drinking more water and thinking about the nutrients, the choices that I was making and the things that I was putting into my mouth, my body began to detoxify and to cleanse and to alkalize and to heal itself. And the end result was really nice skin. So I was so fired up about that and excited about what whole food nutrition could do for people that I picked up everything I knew. I picked up everything that was safe and comfortable to me, and I moved out to California because I knew that I wanted to dedicate my life to sharing these foods with other people and to educating others about what the choices that you make. Honestly, we are in control for the most part of what we put into our bodies. The choices that you make, what a drastic impact it can have in your life. And so you can stop closing those doors that you've been closing on yourself. You can stop pushing away opportunities. You can receive those opportunities and then pass that along and share it with others. And so I knew at that point that the world needed this, because the world really didn't know, or at least the world that I came from was unaware of that. You know, my parents would have done anything for me. I had great parents. You know, they took me to the dermatologist, they got me on the pharmaceuticals that the doctor recommended, so I was on antibiotics, they gave me Retin-A. They were doing everything they could because they saw me hurting. But you know what? They didn't know. And when you don't know what you don't know how to solve the problem. So that's what this is all about. It is making sure that people know. And that is also what the Million Mom movement is all about. And that is why I'm so passionate about teaching moms and teaching families that the choices that you are making for your children, they are monumental. Because, you know, I said for the most part, you control what goes into your mouth. As adults, you do, but as kids, you don't. Your parents control what's going in your kid's mouth. And so that's a decision that's being made 3 or 4 or 5 times a day with meals and snacks. And you know what? My parents, they thought that they were doing all the right stuff for me. But the end result was I was toxic. I was fortunate enough to be thin back then, but so it wasn't showing in being overweight, but it was showing and I had a clogged up system. Nobody ever talked about elimination. So I was clogged up. I was toxic like crazy because I was on a diet of meat and cheese and sugar. But my parents thought that they were doing the very best thing for me because they just didn't know what they didn't know. So that is why I'm so passionate. That's why I feel that it is so important that we talk to parents. It's so important that we talk to grandparents and we talk to schools and that we educate and enlighten them to what food can do for a body. And when the body has the right nutrients, the body can do amazing things. Absolutely amazing things. It can heal itself. And that's what began to happen for me. And it was so amazing. So, you know, it's very funny because who here has kids? A lot of us have kids. So, you know, when your kid was a toddler, you know, and they dropped something on the floor, you would like run over and go, no, you're not supposed to eat that because something might be on that. Maybe there's dirt, maybe there's hair on that food, and you certainly don't want them to put that into their mouth. But what I want people to do is I want them to consider what's in their kids' food. Not what's on their kids' food, because you know what, a little dirt doesn't really hurt anybody. But you know what, the chemicals, the artificial flavors, the artificial sweeteners, and the words that have so many syllables we can't even pronounce them. You know, that does not need to be in the food. God and Mother Nature did not put that stuff in food. Man, some scientist in a laboratory decided that that's what they needed to keep the food preserved on the shelf so, you know, it could stay there longer. It's about economics, actually. So, you know, what we're here doing today, what we're here doing with Purium is just giving choices. It's a choice what you put into your body. And it's those accumulation of choices. So anytime we go somewhere, anytime we go out to eat, anytime we go to a party, anytime we go to the grocery store and we decide what we're going to make for dinner, we have choices, right? You know, and there's a bad choice, and then there's a good, better, and best choice. And you know what? I make the bad choices sometimes. You know, we love it. We have our comfort foods. We all do, right? But it's really about health and wellness and vitality of life is really about the accumulation of those good, better, and best choices. So if you have enough of those good, better, and best choices, it's like credits in the bank. It's like a bank account, you know, like a savings account. Anybody remember those passbook savings accounts, back in the day? You go make a deposit. You make a deposit with that good, better, or best choice. And then when you're at a party, or maybe you go visit your mom and there's this amazing dish that she prepared that just reminds you of love and you want to eat it, go ahead and eat it. Don't feel bad about it, because you have those credits in the bank. And you're not going to bounce anything because you have put that in. You have those good, better, and best choices all lined up. And so that's what Purium is. Purium is that better and best choice all the time. And I tell people, if you start your day with that better or best and you end your day with that better or best, so start your day with a power shake, end your day with an apothecary, and you know what? What happens in the middle is pretty much okay, because you've built up those credits in the bank. So we need to think about that. Think about those food choices. And as you begin to make those good, better, and best choices, you really don't want those bad ones. Who here has done a transformation? A lot of you. Okay. So who's experienced this? I love this story. He's a guy that lives in Las Vegas. And he said, I used to, anytime my wife needed anything, I'd say, oh, honey, I'll go to Costco. And he said, I didn't really like going to Costco, but what I loved about Costco is I got that pizza that they sold outside. Do they do that here in Hawaii? Yeah. So he said, anytime I could do anything, I just wanted to go to Costco. But I did a transformation. He's like, in a way, I'm a little mad at you for this. I did a transformation, and I went to Costco, and I had to have my pizza because that was my routine. It was just built in. And he's like, I was sick. I ate 2 bites of it. And I didn't like it. There was nothing good about that. And so he's like, now I can't even go to Costco, so now my wife's really mad. Because I can't even stand the smell of it. Because as you make those good, better, and best choices, those bad choices aren't so good anymore. They're not doing it for you. So who's here has experienced that? It's true. It's totally true. And so, who here has also gotten on a kick and said, I'm going to be a raw foodist, I'm going to juice, I'm going to just radically change everything in my family's life. Some of us have done that. But you know what? That's a full-time job. I work, I have kids, I don't have time for that. And so that is what Purium is. Purium gives you the benefit of that raw food lifestyle with easy and convenient and valuable economic powders that you can do every day. They're not going to rot in your refrigerator. You're not going to get mad at yourself. I just spent 25 bucks on organic produce, wasted it, never going to do that again. I mean, who's done that? Yes, exactly, 50. Yeah. And so that is the beautiful, beautiful thing about Purium, is we have these easy choices. And so it's so easy to make that power shake. It's so easy to grab that and have those benefits of a labor-intensive lifestyle right there at your fingertips. So, we have a really beautiful thing here at Purium. And there's another thing that I want to mention about the products while I'm here, is that when you turn that power shake around, I don't know, Dr. Tom, is there a power shake back there? Do I see that? What does it say on the back right on top of our address? Well, it should.
Exclusively manufactured and distributed by Purium Health Products.
Yes, so exclusively manufactured and distributed by. So that's one thing that I want to take a couple minutes here and talk about how important that is. And I challenge you to go over to Whole Foods, go over to someone else in this space that we're in, and look at the products that they have and turn it around and see what it says. And it's probably not, 9.5 times out of 10, it's not going to say manufactured by. It's going to say distributed by or made for. And so I want to take a second and explain what the difference is. So we're a contract manufacturer too. I told you we started this company 22 years ago. And 22 years ago, nobody cared. We couldn't get 5 people in a room to listen to us. So that's why I still get so overwhelmed to see a room full of people here that care. But so we had these 2 lonely products that we were selling in health food stores, and we weren't selling very much of them. But we had this dream, we had this mission. We knew what we needed to do, but we didn't exactly know how to get there. We didn't have the money, we didn't have the resources to get our message out. So we started manufacturing for other people, for other companies that had more resources and that knew how to market better than we did. And so we would go to those companies would come to us and they would say, we want the very best product out there. We'd say, okay, great, because we make the very best product out there. And then they'd say, well, we only want to pay $3. And we'd say, whoa, well, how can we reconcile that? How do you get the very best product for $3? And they'd say, well, just do it. You know, we don't really care how you do it, just do it. So we'd put a formula together. And then Dave would get up on stage and at their national convention and they would say, tell them that this is the very best product and it's amazing. And so he did that for a year or two and he started saying, this doesn't quite feel right because my product in the health food store costs way more than $3. And so it's kind of hard to stand up here and say this is the very best product knowing that actually it's not. And so that started feeling not so good, but we still needed to keep the doors open. And so then we went to this national convention of this one company that was introduced us to network marketing, and it was really exciting. And when he got up on stage, he's like, I'm not feeling so good about this, but kind of have to do it. So we went to their corporate office the next day, go in the boardroom, you know, all these high fives. It was amazing. We sold so much product. Okay, now we need a discount. And so he said, well, how do we give you a discount and continue to make it when it's only $3 and we're making this so we can make some money and keep the doors open? And I'm like, we don't care how you do it, just we need a discount. And so we said, you know what, this does not feel right. This absolutely doesn't feel right. And so that's when we decided, these network marketing companies, they know how to get people in the door. They know how to get people's attention and they know how to spread a message. But you know what? These network marketing companies that we're working with, they don't know integrity. They don't know core values like we do. I don't know, who's been to the factory here? I know several of you have. We've got these signs all over our warehouse, our company core values, and those really are important to us. You know, for those of you that have kids or have families, you have household rules, right? You have family values. We have company values, and our values are integrity and quality, and we don't compromise on those. And you know what? We are a private company. Dave and I own over 90% of the company because there's no one that we want to be beholden to but ourselves. Because when outside investors get involved, profit becomes the #1 motive. And you know what? You know what a buyer's job is? Who's in supply chain? Anybody here in supply chain? A buyer's job is just to get a discount on the product. It's really to bring extra profit to the bottom line. And you know what? They don't care about quality. Quality and integrity aren't necessarily part of their core values. Profit is. And you know what we said? We do not want to be a part of that. And so that's when we decided we were going to get into the network marketing space. We were going to create something different, and we have. And it is so amazing to see you in this room. It's so amazing, and I have the deepest gratitude to Team We, to Brandy, who had a vision, to our Crown team that's here, that just took what we had and they ran with it. And they put their own passion and their own motivation and they put their own spin on it. And man, look what they have done. This island is saturated with Purium, and it is so amazing to see and hear the testimonials and the transformations that have come out of this group. It is so inspirational and so heartwarming for me to be a part of this. So we knew network marketing was amazing. You guys proved it was even more amazing than I ever could have imagined. So I want to thank you guys so much from the bottom of my heart for the leadership in this room and what they have done. And to Brandy, she's not here right now, but deepest gratitude. You know, you guys have taken a mission